Hello, I'm your host, Peter Komendowski, and welcome to Surviving Bad, where we explore Iowa's stories of survival, hope, and inspiration. Today's guests are Mike Ralston and Jesse McQuarrie from the Iowa Association of Business and Industry. We're going to look at the business of growing Iowa, yes, the traditional ideas of workforce development and the economy, but also the business of helping young Iowans grow to reach their full potential, not just as members of the workforce, but as the future leaders of Iowa. Welcome to the show. Let's meet our guests. Mike, Jesse, welcome.
Thank you, Peter.
Mike, give us a little bit of an overview of what ABI is about.
Well, Peter, I'll do that and I'll be brief. And if you want me to expand on anything, let me know. ABI, the Iowa Association of Business and Industry, is Iowa's oldest and largest statewide business network. The trade association, Iowa's manufacturing and general business trade association. We have about 1,500 member companies. We have companies in all of Iowa's 99 counties, primarily manufacturers are represented, but also utilities, warehousing, distribution, insurance, you name it, and we probably have it. And we do a lot of things for members. They're all focused on public policy advocacy, on member training and events, and on ABI Foundation programs, which are centered on leadership and community development and education. And I think my colleague, Jesse McQuarrie, is going to talk about those, so I'll stop there.
Good idea. All right, Jesse, welcome. Tell us about some of the fun stuff you do.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for having us. So the Iowa Association of Business and Industry Foundation came about in about 1984. And that was really established to oversee the programs that we had actually already started about 2 years prior. So the ABI Foundation has 3 programs, starting with Leadership Iowa, which is our oldest program, started in 1982, which is an issues awareness program for Iowa leaders from across the state. So we get to, select 40 Iowa leaders from all across Iowa, all different industries, and they join us once a month in a new Iowa community to really take a deep dive into the important topics and issues happening across our state. So this ranges from agriculture and renewable resources to education, government, healthcare, workforce, you name it. So we're really bringing together a lot of leaders from across Iowa and exposing them to what's going on in our state and allowing them to bring back some of these best practices into their communities. So our next oldest program is Business Horizons, which is our high school program. This is held annually each summer in July. We typically have about 85 to 100 high school students from 50 plus high schools in Iowa with us. And we like to call it an entrepreneurship boot camp for students. So on their first night, they're split into teams and they're tasked to create a product within their team. And out of junk and duct tape, so not your traditional materials that you might find in creating something. And they have to launch a mock business off of that product. So they compete in different activities, from filming and editing their own infomercial to a trade show to an investor pitch. And we do a lot of team building and professional development work within that week as well. And our third program is our college program, Leadership Iowa University. So we usually have about 20 to 25 college students with us from all different Iowa colleges, coming from a lot of wonderful internship programs and companies and ABI members. And we do a lot of professional development with them. And that program is really about exposing these great young leaders to the opportunities that are here in Iowa and encouraging them to stay and live and work in our wonderful state. So that's a little bit about what we do at the foundation.
Well, I think we want to come back and talk more about these things, but I want to ask Mike a question. You know, Mike, business is in a weird position in this day and age. You know, I mean, it's essential. You guys are a highly respected organization, and yet business oftentimes seems to be a target. You know, what's the climate like in Iowa today, and what are some of the challenges that you're facing?
Peter, that's a great question, and I'll tell you, it is amazing to me that there continues to be all these slings and arrows at business when it is the business people. And by business people, I don't just mean owners or executives. I mean a company's workforce, employees. It's a real partnership between employers and employees. These are the folks who spend the money. They, pay a lot of property taxes, income taxes, make all our communities better. They're the ones that work the food stand at the high school football game. They sing in the choir. They coach the Little League. These are people, just like all Iowans, that want to make their communities better. There are bad business people, but far and away, most of the business people I know anyway are terrific people, just like employers and employees across the state. The challenge right now, of course, is related more to other circumstances like a global pandemic or cash flow. Workforce continues to be an issue in this state. We need more people. And there are other issues. You're such a terrific leader at Partnership for a Healthy Iowa and other places. So you know about some of those other issues that are just as important as anything that we face in this state.
Well, thank you very much. And I want to get back to talking about this because we know that a lot of children, young adults, really, idealize being successful in business. I want to talk more about how we make those connections, especially in these difficult times. We're going to come back after a break, continue the conversation. Stay with us. You don't want to miss this.
While a lot is changing in our world, at Mediacom, our focus remains the same, making sure you have the fastest, most reliable connection possible. During this critical time, we know your needs are changing. You may be working or learning from home, relying on telemedicine, or finding new ways to keep everyone entertained. If you need more speed, call or go online, and Mediacom will double your speed immediately for as low as $10 more a month for 1 year.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Every second, 127 new devices connect to the internet. You can feel it happening, our digital world expanding with every breath. We're entering a whole new era of connectivity, and Mediacom will be ready to power it with one of the nation's first 10G platforms. We'll be bringing you more speed, more capacity, more security, and the power to do more than you ever dreamed possible.
Welcome back to Surviving Bad. We're talking about how the Iowa Association of Business and Industry is involved with Iowans on a very personal level. And Jesse, I want to address that because you do work with high school kids. And when I get all over the state, we see a lot of kids trying to figure out what their careers are, getting excited. And to them, business is like this great mystery of life they're trying to unfold. What are some of your experience in working with high school children and how your program works with them?
Absolutely. Thank you, Peter. And that's a great way to describe that, the mystery of what their future is. And I think even more so now with the pandemic and students being pushed and pulled in a lot of different directions and their years being turned upside down, I think that mystery is going to continue for students. More and more today, we're seeing a shift in education into that hypothetical, into the actual. So how can we get those students into businesses, into job shadows, exploring different careers that they may be interested in as early as their freshman year of high school? So a lot of high schools across our state are requiring internships and job shadows prior to graduation, which is a wonderful shift as they're thinking about what type of training and what type of higher education and what programs they're looking to go to as they take that next step, whatever that might be. So students are still very much exploring a variety of career fields. For Business Horizons, a lot of students look at our program and think, oh, I need to be going into business. But really those skills and the soft skills and the leadership skills that we promote through Business Horizons are transferable to any different career field a student might wish to go into. So we do see a lot of students looking at entrepreneurship more and more nowadays. I think it's becoming a less scary endeavor for students as they're coming up with new and interesting ideas. We recently actually added a technology track into our program to promote STEM and those really lucrative careers within technology and IT industry. And we really promote to students, not only our high school students, but also our college, that you can go into so many different wonderful Iowa companies, and it may not be what they think. We have a lot of students who are looking to be accountants, so they assume they have to go immediately into an accounting firm. Well, we know that manufacturers and agriculture, those careers exist all across all industries. So those needs are met in a lot of different ways. So we're doing our best to expose students to those different careers, as well as where their strengths and their personal interests lie within those industries and careers.
Now, how young, are you finding an audience for this discussion? When is it starting? And another question I have is, how much are the parents involved in some of this dialogue?
Well, parents are very important to this conversation as well. They are one of our biggest advocates when it comes to Business Horizons and where we go when we're talking about this program. Not all the time does a business camp in the summer sound as exciting to high school students as we think it is. But for our group, we're looking at freshmen through seniors. So that 9th grade through those seniors who would have just graduated high school and are heading into college. That is our main target audience for Business Horizons. However, we do know that this conversation is starting even in the middle schools, in the career exploration in middle schools as well, through the Department of Education and a lot of the different programs and discussions that they're having with parents and students now today.
Now, what would you, this is probably a gut feeling, but what would you think are some of the fears that kids in high school have about life and careers? They've got big decisions looming when they get out of high school.
I really think it's the fear of the unknown at this point of what those careers are going to be looking like 5-10 years from now, what role technology is going to play in some of the careers that they think they might want, and financial component. Financial literacy is a conversation that has really grown tenfold over the last 5 to 10 years. And students are being more and more concerned and more aware of that debt that they may be coming out of college with, or the responsibilities that students are having to take in early careers and early jobs in order to support family members or just their own needs and wants as individuals wherever they may land. So I think some of those concerns are really weighing into decisions as it comes to careers, as it comes to higher education opportunities.
Now, when we look at the choices that they make, would you say that what ABI is doing at the foundation is really trying to address some of those opportunities and fears? It looks to me like you're making a real strong connection between this business climate in Iowa and not just their needs, but also the needs of the kids to figure out where they want to go.
Absolutely. We want to showcase that those opportunities are here for them in Iowa. They don't need to go to the coast. They don't need to go to a larger city or state in order to find success and the success that they're looking for. We have the affordability here in Iowa. We have short transportation and short commutes if they're looking for work. They can get involved in a variety of outside endeavors and organizations with other students and peers. So we really want to keep them here in our state because we know they're going to be our next generation of leaders.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Mike, I'd like to ask you a little bit about top down, what business people think about youth today and what the opportunities are and maybe how they feel about the temperament of youth in this sort of changing world, especially with all this new technology. So we're going to talk about something really fun when it comes to your kids or your future. We'll see you after the break. You don't want to miss this.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Right now, millions of people and billions of devices are connected to the internet. Homes, businesses, hospitals, schools. The security and reliability of these connections are more important than ever. That's why at Mediacom, we've built a network to protect them. A network that sees threats, fixes problems before they occur, and keeps you going with 99.99% network reliability. While a lot is changing in our world, at Mediacom, our focus remains the same, making sure you have the fastest, most reliable connection possible. During this critical time, we know your needs are changing. You may be working or learning from home, relying on telemedicine, or finding new ways to keep everyone entertained. If you need more speed, call or go online, and Mediacom will double your speed immediately for as low as $10 more a month for 1 year.
Welcome back to Surviving Bad. I'm your host, Peter Komendowski, and we're talking about a network of resources through the Association of Business and Industry that reaches out into all of Iowa communities, helping build strong connections and opportunities. Mike, we started this dialogue before the break about children and their expectations. Well, what about employers and their expectations? Everybody talks about kids and videos and being distracted. Where do you guys sit on this, and what challenges do you face?
Well, a couple things, Peter. And first, I want to say thank you for pointing out ABI is a great resource. That's exactly what it is, a network of resources. And so we encourage people to go to iowaabi.org. They'll find a ton of resources there. But to speak to your specific question, if you ask a business person, at least an ABI member, what they think about young people, they're excited about young people. They're excited to get them into their plants. They're excited to get them on board. They see Iowa's young people as they're kids who want to go to work. They're kids who want to create economic opportunity for themselves and their future families. So Iowa employers are really excited about young people. This myth about millennials is just that. It's a myth. Iowa employers really like young people. Last thing I'd say when it comes to this is I think for too long, at least our members weren't as involved as they should have been in their local school districts. But boy, has that changed. You see a lot of ABI member company people heavily involved in their school districts, getting involved, working with young people, and it makes a difference. So we're excited to see that happening too.
Well, and that's sort of great stuff. Jesse, one of the sort of monikers of your programs is leadership. What are some of the principles of leadership that ABI embraces? And I presume that would reflect both its membership in business and what you're trying to import to the young kids and the young adults that are working with your programs.
Yes, leadership is a big part of all of our programs, and we really look at it as this leadership continuum within the ABI Foundation and the programs that we work on. Because we know with our ABI members and receiving their feedback and their input, seeing multi-generational leadership is seeing that grow and being able to help foster the next generation of leaders and those who are up and coming, whether it's from our high school level to the college level to our adult level as well. We want to do our part to help foster that across the state of Iowa.
All right, tell me now, as you move into college, what are some of the differences between what you do with your college programs and your high school programs?
With college, we're really focusing on that next step. So how do we prepare those students to get into the workforce first? So we do take a look at resumes, cover letters. We really polish up their interview skills. And also, what are those opportunities? What are the opportunities for students here in the state of Iowa, especially those top performing, top-notch college students that we really want to having a seat at that table, being involved in the leadership conversations of the next stage of these wonderful ADI members that we have, as well as all other industry across our state. So with our college program, we're not only polishing up the resumes, we're also looking into the different industries and issues within our state and how students can be actively and civically engaged and involved. So we'll take a look at nonprofit entities and manufacturing and agriculture, a lot of those wonderful companies here in Iowa that embrace those young people and would love to see them in as interns or as young professionals coming in and working with their teams.
Now, when you have kids in high school, college, and involved in your programs, do they actually get a chance to get some hands-on meetings with people in business, get out in the community, and sort of, expand their sort of horizons in terms of contacts that they have?
Absolutely. That is one of our goals within our programs. So with each one of these programs, Business Horizons and Leadership Iowa University, we have more than 100 volunteers within 4.5 days that we bring in. So with Leadership Iowa University, we let our college students know, we provide them with business cards up front on day one, and we expect that they get rid of all 50 of those business cards by the end of their 4.5 days with us. They have the opportunity to meet about 90 to 100 individuals, whether that's through roundtable discussions, networking events that we set up for them, through company tours, and with our keynote speakers who we bring in to speak on a variety of topics, getting them ready for that next step.
Now, during this sort of crisis, Mike, you might want to address this. How has your contact with your constituents and all these organizations changed? Are you doing Zooms all the time like many of us?
We are, Peter. We're doing a lot of virtual meetings. In fact, just about everything's virtual these days. And the great news about the programs that Jesse leads for the ABI Foundation is that they've been able to still connect these students with people in business. So they actually connect with business people. They get an opportunity to tour, even in a virtual sense, member companies. They really connect folks so that there can be a partnership when these kids are done with school.
I know you put on a really great conference that I had the honor to attend once, and you did have a significant contingent of students there to experience what business people are learning firsthand.
Right. We try to place a focus on that, Peter, because again, Iowa needs to grow and we need these young people to stay here. There's great opportunity here, as Jesse said, and as you know. And so our goal is to create those connections between the kids and those opportunities.
That's fantastic. We're going to take a short break. And when we come back, I'd like to ask you both to take a moment to share some final comments and advice, things that'll help people watching the show and some of the kids watching the show sort of think about what business means to them and their lives. We'll see you after the break. You don't want to miss this.
I don't know how we would have survived without Mediacom. We have 5 kids, my wife and I, and we have Mediacom for all of our internet and all of our cable services. So I'm stuck in my house, but at the same time, I'm connected to people all over the world, and it's been fantastic.
Thanks to Mediacom, I've had reliable internet to continue to work business as usual, that I can continue to provide for myself and my family.
Right now, we all feel like the world is in a standstill. The internet has played a huge role in allowing us to stay connected to our jobs and the kids' schooling online and finding fun and creative ways to stay connected with the ones that we love. We couldn't do it without Mediacom.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Welcome back. Today on Surviving Bad, we're taking a moment to talk about the Iowa Association of Business and Industry, and they have a lot of experience with Iowa workforce and Iowa kids. Let's hear what final words of advice our guests, Mike and Jesse, have for us. Jesse?
Thank you, Peter. I think really if I were to sum this up and provide advice to both high school students and then working our way up to our adults, especially in this time of COVID-19 and all of the changes we're going through, is really just seeing how resilient Iowans are. To be able to come together and create those connections, and then the innovation that is sparking from all of these connections and Iowans working together has been just incredible to see and eye-opening. So I really hope we continue that moving out and into this next phase when hopefully we can be face-to-face and see one another and interact with one another. So I would just encourage Iowans to continue that mindset of innovation and keeping that open mind as we move forward.
Well, you certainly have the right kind of passion for that job, and we're lucky to have you doing it. Mike, what advice do you have? I mean, you have parents, you've got children, you have a big audience here. What would you want to share with them?
Thanks, Peter. I think I just build on what Jesse said, and there's a lot of opportunity in Iowa. If you're watching this show from Cedar Falls or Dunkerton or anywhere else in Iowa, the message is the same. You've got a lot of opportunity. If there's a business that you don't know about, but you drive by it every day, or just go in there and ask to see the place, they'll show it to you. Iowa employers want to talk to you. They want you to come into their plant. And if you want to, you can start at a job operating a machine, move up to something else. Boy, just seize that opportunity. There's a ton of opportunity out there, and that's not just rhetoric.
Now, one question. As a parent, if you're a parent talking to a child in high school, how would you broach the issue of looking at a future? What advice would you give a child?
Yeah, well, I'd talk to my child and I'd say, you don't have to go to college or to a 4-year college. You can go to a community college. We're lucky to have great examples of both in this state. But what do you want to do? What do you enjoy? And let's build on that. Let's do what we need to do to find a great career in that field. What do you want to do? That's what I'd ask my child.
So it's safe to say a great foundation for a career in a business is doing something you're passionate about and something you like to do.
Well said, Peter.
Well, thank you very much for being guests today, and thank you all for watching. Joining us today as part of our experience. We love having you. If you need more information, you can go to our website at ahealthyiowa.org for more info. Keep your eye on Mediacom MC22 for our next episode of Surviving Bad, where we explore Iowa stories of survival, hope, and inspiration. On Mediacom MC22, your local programming leader.